Hi everyone, Alex Slezak here, and I wanted to share with you today my self-massage routine or my self-myofascial release routine. And what I wanted to show you is basically the routine I use every single day to keep my soft tissues pliable and really mobile, so I feel better and I move better every single day. I got two different pieces of equipment here. I've got a foam roller and I've got a lacrosse ball. Now, some of the exercises that you're going to see me do, or some of the part of the routine that you're going to see me do, is I have to go and use the lacrosse ball just because I need a more focal point of pressure on my muscles. You might not necessarily need this. You can substitute the lacrosse ball. You can use a tennis ball. You can use a medicine ball. You can use a whole bunch of different other balls. And I have just a traditional high-density black foam roller here, nothing fancy. This one actually comes from OPTP, which is one that I actually like. So let me go ahead and show you how to go ahead and get started. The very first thing I do is I jump on the end of the foam roller here, and I roll out my quadriceps and hip flexors. And again, I'm going to go through this a little faster, but when you're doing this, you're going to want to spend about 30 seconds on each one of these areas and take long, slow, hard passes. And then I slide over, move it over to my other leg. And while I'm here, I turn it to the inside. I'm going to work the inner part of my thigh, called my adductors. And I slide it over to the other side. And again, I'm going through this relatively fast, but you're going to want to spend about 30 seconds, and especially a little more time on the areas where you feel some more tension. Then what I do is I slide over to my side, roll out my IT band, go from my knee all the way up to my hip. Roll over the other side, same thing. Then I flop over onto my backside, roll out my hamstrings, slide it down, do my calf, run it all the way up to upper part of my calf, all the way down to my Achilles tendon. Slide over to the other side. At this point, done with my lower body, so I take my foam roller, put it right underneath my shoulder blades, and I do just a couple of extensions. And this one you want to do is you want to tuck your chin, and you want to extend your upper part of your back, your thoracic spine. And I just move it down a segment or two. This really just helps my mobility. Now while I'm here, I take my hands, cross them in front of me, and now I roll out my rhomboids. And those are the muscles you'll feel inside your shoulder blades. I then turn it over, roll out my lats, go to the other side, to the other side, roll out my lats as well. Basically going from the armpit to the base of my shoulder blade. And finally, flip it over, roll out my pectoralis muscles. Into the other side. Okay, at this point, spend a lot of time on my body. Done with the foam roller, I'm going to hit a little more focal areas that I haven't before. If you're a lady and you can't use a foam roller to roll out your pectoralis, you can do that by yourself, just with a lacrosse ball or with a tennis ball that you may have. So the very first thing that I do is while I'm sitting down, I took my lacrosse ball, I actually sit on it, cross my leg over. I'm going to roll out my glutes and my piriformis. And I head over to the other side, roll out my glutes and my piriformis on that side as well. Now again, you can see that the lacrosse ball, this is going to be really uncomfortable for a lot of you. So you can also do the same. You can roll out your glutes and your piriformis on your foam roller as well. You can just cross it and just roll back and forth just like this. So back to my lacrosse ball here. Then I move it down. And I roll out a little bit more of my calves. Try and turn my foot over the other side. Get the outer part of my tibia to the other side. Again, turn my leg out to the outside there. Roll out these tibialis anterior muscles. Then what I do, slide my shoes off, take a little bit of time, roll out my plantar fascia. And again, I'm going through this really fast, so spend a little bit more time on doing this. My plantar fascia. And then, since I play tennis, a lot of tennis, I spend some time on my forearm as well. On the wrist flexors and the wrist extensors. And that right there is my self-myofascial release. That's my self-massage routine that I do on a regular basis. And that's what I use to take care of my body.